Hey, good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Good morning to you. It is Thursday as we get this day underway. 43 rather, as we get today's high of 81. It's going to warm, isn't it? That's drastic change, 43 to 81. That's what's in our forecast. We got details on all of that this morning. Our special guest today will be Brother Ben. He's coming in from Collinsville First Baptist. Hope you'll join us during the 7 o'clock hour for that. He's always fun and entertaining. Let's see what he has to say this morning. We had a little rump row there with some computer issues a minute ago. I think we have everything up and running again. It's always a dash at the last moment when something goes wrong. It's never going to do it in time, is it? I think we got everything up and going. Let's go out and get that good word of the day.
Han Solo is one of the better star pilots in the galaxy. He's no Anakin Skywalker, but he can do some pretty amazing stuff, especially off the cuff and when his life is on the line. Take that scene in The Empire Strikes Back, for example. Han is maneuvering through an asteroid field, and C-3PO, a protocol droid, tells him the odds of successfully passing through the field are 3,720 to 1, to which Han Solo replies, "Never tell me the odds." To a finite artificial intelligence like C-3PO, he cannot account for sheer skill and luck that Han Solo has to get through that asteroid field. Similarly, the human mind cannot comprehend or account for the absolute power and sovereignty of God. Remember in Genesis 18, where the Lord again visits Abraham and tells him that in a year's time, Sarah will have borne a son to him. Sarah overhears that conversation and laughs to herself, saying, "After I'm worn out and my Lord is old, will I have delight?" To which God replies, "Why did Sarah laugh, saying, 'Can I really have a baby when I'm old?' Is anything impossible for the Lord?" Throughout the Bible, we're reminded that God's ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. We cannot comprehend the mind of God. But time and again, God has proven himself by doing the impossible. When we cannot see when or how we will get through troubling times in life, God provides a way. As our Lord said in Matthew 19:26, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. We may not see above our circumstances, but we can rely on God to bring us through. Never tell him the odds. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. As I said before, 43 right now, 81 is our high. Sunshine, all in the forecast. That wind chance is calming down, so it ought to be a calm day in store for us. I won't complain over 80-degree weather any day of the week. That's so much better than what we've had in the past. So what is the magic number that makes you think, oh, I might ought to go look at that lottery that they've got? Maybe you never do, but it's starting to climb once again. This is a lot of money. Yeah. $680 million is where it is at this point. Somebody will win. It's 1 in probably 10 million chance, but somebody's going to win. It's up to you to decide if you want to be one of the ones that go after it. $680 million, so good luck with that. Rumor is, and again, we're going to put this as a rumor at this point, but it's bound to happen at some point, and now would be a great time. Word is Nancy is speculating about retirement. Nancy Pelosi, who I'm talking about. We'll see if that comes true or not, but that is starting to be the word there. I fell into this category, and well, I frankly still do, even though I work for myself. When was the last time that you took a day off work? They're saying that nearly a quarter of Americans don't take off work for one big reason. When you come back to work, it's just more than you can handle, and it's just not worth it. Anybody have a job like that? There's a lot of you out there that do. A lot of responsibility, and that, well, no one else can answer, or it's put on you for whatever reason, and if you take off, it's just too much when you come back. Something to think on there, but a quarter of Americans. Antifa, most likely funded by a group that's not good, and lately they've been identified as terrorists. This is how bad it is. Conservative journalist. There's a few out there. They've put out more or less a hit list of journalists that they consider to be conservatives that they don't want there. They're posting all around Portland, Oregon, on light poles. Something's just not right about that. So how do you smuggle into the to another country? Japan. I really would not be good at this job of checking people for stuff. You know, I often follow the police around and they do searches. And when you get to the airport stuff, there gets to be portions of that you don't want to do. They have arrested 4 women. Get this, Odie. They had gold powder smuggling into Japan sewn inside their underwear. Now, somebody had to go find that. And I'm glad it's not me. I'm telling you, I would not want that job for nothing in the world. People hide things in, well, strange places. They got busted, though.
Make your underwear heavy.
I'm sure it did make their underwear heavier. Ooh, have mercy. But just really, that's not a good job.
Yeah, no.
I would be in war. What do you call those little blue gloves that you go buy?
Oh, yeah, the latex.
Latex gloves. There wouldn't be enough of them. Refinance demand is 81% higher right now than it was a year ago. Interest rates have come down a little bit, and Americans are trying to save every dollar they can. So mortgage rates dropping a little bit there. That's good news. I'm not sure, and this will get to this. This is probably the beginning stage of it. That's not a good-looking car, but Nissan is developing a car, you know, all this solar stuff where you have to stop, plug up for hours. Duh, they're coming up with a car that will have a solar panel on the roof and will recharge itself as you go along the road. It's a smart idea. Will it work yet? Probably not, but that's probably the future of the electric car. Now, what can we say about nighttime? It may not work out so well for you. You probably have to travel during the daytime only, but it's a start. GM. Again, as the AI era, technology changes every day. And this is similar to what, I'd almost rather say his name than say it wrong, Tesla. We're in the neighborhood, however you say that word. But GM is getting ready to launch an eyes-off driving car and having AI features in their new vehicles by 2028, to where you wouldn't have to touch the steering wheel. You could lean over and talk as you drove along. You could take back over the car as you wanted to. Now, I see people trip and fall in parking lots, and they sue everybody now. You know that that's just going to trigger those who want to, oh, I had an accident. It's your fault, not mine. Just saying, attorneys will love that idea.
Oh, yeah.
The zipper. You ever thought much about it? Go up and down with it once or twice during the summer. The wintertime, you usually have a jacket. You use it more. It's getting its first major update in 100 years. I'd make Odie stand up and show his zipper, but it would look funny. So we're not going to do that. But on the sides of the zipper, there's material, that's sewn in, and then you go up with it. They're going to take it to where the sides of the zipper is sewn into the material instead of having that strip that's pre-made on there, to where it will have a closer fit to the zipper. You with me on that, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The sides of the metal that have the material on it, that material will go away, and just the metal part will be made into the clothing as it goes up. Huh. Did I paint a picture pretty good? That's what's coming. Japan being they make the most zippers than anybody. Imagine that. Manufacturing in another country. You probably heard us talking about this airline last week that had the windshield busted. Flying along, and all of a sudden, wham. They never told what happened, and now they're saying possibly it was space debris that struck the windshield of that plane. I saw, was it Australia, where a big, huge piece fell in the desert last week in Australia? What's going to happen when some of that stuff hits a residential area? They put more stuff up in space than we even have any idea about. And eventually, what goes up must come down. Just merely commenting. Hey, you have to pat folks on the back when they do something good. Some farm hands going along in California. A school bus caught on fire. They jumped out, went into action, and saved 20 children. That's impressive. We're proud of that. That they were recognized for that. Carlos, I'm glad they did. What will you do when it's time? Some turn the other way. Some step up to the plate. Some it's just a natural instinct. Some shy away from doing that. We'll see. I'm going to go over this as the Secret Service. As I was a kid, when you heard the name Secret Service, you thought of the best, the elite, the best of anybody that there was to make it to protect the President of the United States. You were really, really good at this. Now, some got mad at Pete last month when he started telling military leaders that no longer will you sit behind a desk and draw a check. You will have to pass a physical test to be able to continue to do what you do. To where if you got the call at midnight to go protect your country, you could actually, grab a weapon and make it to the battlefield. The Secret Service, we all watched and scratched our heads when they told us that a slanted roof was too dangerous for the Secret Service to go on. Now, remember that little speech there? Wasn't too slanted for a bad guy, was it? And that's what you do when you're in these types groups. You train to, go after the other one. We'll start off with the Secret Service agent who couldn't pass the physical test, but moonlighted on the side as a plus model. If you can't do the job, you can't do the job. To do this, you have to pass physical tests. Why? Because it's for your safety. And it gave over a few things, stuff that we don't know as average Americans that go on behind the scenes. Earlier this month, it was reported that a Secret Service agent fell asleep on the job at the United Nations General Assembly. The unidentified agent also left his fully automatic rifle unattended while taking a bathroom break. That should be rule number one. Never leave that weapon behind. What else do we have here? He was also relieved of his duties. He's no longer doing that anymore. Let's see here. Last month, a Secret Service agent said that Charlie Kirk and Father, too, deserved what he got. Now, a Secret Service agent shouldn't say that. He's received a lot of criticism. I'm unsure if they took that out of his, if he's no longer working there. I don't know the answer to that one there. We also, last month, it was reported that a Glock was stashed in a bag that went through a checkpoint of Secret Service agents. Guess what? They didn't find the Glock in the bag as it went. How do you miss something like that? That's your job, is to check those. Well, somehow they missed it. He's also looking for employment. And I say all of this of when you start bending the rules to those who can't toe the line, you have boo-boos like this. You have a president shot. You have another attempt on a president. And this goes on and on all the way down to the to the guy that fills up the gas pumps, the truck driver. You can't take shortcuts on a job like that because that's a very dangerous thing. And we'll get into CDL drivers in a minute, where we are on all that. Let's see here what else we've got this morning. Here's some numbers for you, and there's a little bit of immigration here that I'm going to talk about. Some people get infuriated when you talk about this. I try to keep it to just the facts of what we know. We do have a problem. There's some folks that don't want to admit that we do. Illegal aliens that got Social Security cards. Now, hear these numbers out. Now, they know that they're not American citizen. They were issued a Social Security card anyway, which means they'll be getting those who've paid in their benefits. In 2021, 270,000 got a Social Security card. 2022, 590,000 got them. In 23, 964,000 got Social Security cards. And in 24, 2 million got a Social Security card. And you seem to think that you'll get a retirement after working 35 to 40 years. Not looking good, is it? What else do we have here? This, what is the lady, is it Omar that is in the Senate?
Yep. Yeah.
We're seeing more and more people from other countries come to America, and with that, and I've heard Odie say this, they bring their way of thinking to America instead of adapting to America's ways. And that's when you get into a mess. You come to America because it's a better place. We see that there's going to be a meet and greet somewhere around 11 candidates that aren't really from America. I'm not running any nationality down, but they're making a big deal out of that. And again, it will change the way politics is done in Georgia. Georgia is becoming a melting pot. Let's see here. Massive win, it says, for DHS. The DHS has successfully banned all immigration judges from giving illegal aliens a bond. I didn't know that. That's news to me this morning. We'll see that happens. This also, we had this happen yesterday. I don't know if you're aware of it. This week, rather. In California, another, and we've talked about this, CDLs. A truck, an 18-wheeler is a very, very dangerous vehicle. It weighs a lot, it's humongous, and people get hurt. We've had another illegal alien kill 3 in a vehicle. Didn't have a license. Given that, as you saw that, what was it, the no name given type thing, California. And it is more and more growing, and I'm almost willing to back this to where if you've got a CDL and it's out of California, that you need to be retested, that none of those are recognized at this point. Am I wrong? We've got problems. Those trucks are dangerous and only should be driven by professionals that know what they're doing and be able to read a sign when it says turn off, stop, slow down, things that are important there. Let's see here. Oh, Gavin Newsom's not going to like this at all, but Trump has seemed to have beaten him in the Ninth Circuit Court. Trump can federalize California National Guard troops for immigration efforts. Ooh, he's not going to like that.
Well, he just have to get over it.
So much going on, turmoil in California, or at least it is from somebody from Mississippi. They seem to think they're right. As we get further to the east and the south and other portions of America, we don't quite see it the way they do. Meta, Facebook laying off 600 people in the AI department. They've got a few too many in it. They're trying to adjust it to get it right. What else is happening this morning? I watched that, and these people that protest, I won't show the video, but common sense has been left out in the rain. I don't know if y'all have seen this a lot lately. Here's where we are. We are now 23 days into this government shutdown. Now, I went back and looked at this. This is the second longest one we've ever had. The longest was 35 days. Anyone want to guess when that happened? Last time Donald J. was in office, it was in 2019, if I remember right. It was 2019 when we had that. Do I think this is going to surpass that? I do. I do not think they're going to settle this. They voted, is it 12 or 14 times now to keep it not open? It's been voted on roughly 14. It could be 12, but I'm leaning toward 14. My, oh my.
Keeps voting it down.
Well, they do keep voting it down. Schumer and that bunch. That's the way we look at it. You remember George Soros? Not George Soros, but George Santos. It sounds similar to the same. The guy in the Republican Party that was pardoned. He now will probably face some state charges. Ruh-roh. He could have more issues in his future. We'll see there. Here's a sad thing. And we often talk about it on our show on a local level there. As we go back to, I believe this was California, it was, where a patrol officer stopped to help someone. She was struck and killed in traffic. How sad that is. Watch those folks. Keep your eyes and ears open at all time when you're driving, especially when traffic starts slowing down and you see something on the side of the road. Slow down. I don't care what state you're watching me from. Do that. It's somebody that needs to go home. They got people that depend upon them. We'll be right back as we'll get into your weather forecast next here at the Scotty Ray Report.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 1957, and now serving Meridian homeowners.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
And welcome back as we get into our record highs and lows. 1953, we had a high of 90 today. It was cool back in 1891. Boy, 29 was a record set on that. Again, today's high should reach 81. Here's what we've got to show you this forecast across Mississippi. Meridian coming in at 81, and you'll see that all the way due west to about Vicksburg. As we go north, it gets cooler as you get near that Tennessee line. We'll see 76 and South Haven, and pretty much a line all the way across northern Mississippi into Tennessee there. We'll see Clarksdale and the Delta at 79. As we go southward, we get into the Brookhaven area and down to Gulfport. A change there of about 77 as we're looking at the Gulf Coast on Highway 90. Tonight's overnight low should still dip into the 40s again. Meridian at 49, 44 in Corinth overnight as we get down to Brookhaven, about 50, and we'll see 50 around Loosedale. As you get to the Gulfport area, we'll see about 58 for a low tonight. As we go to Bama to take a look, we'll see 80 today all the way from Demopolis to Tuscaloosa. By the time you get to Burmaland, it should be about 78, and you'll see that even over at Auburn today. Here's our outlook for today. Not bad. Temperatures are showing kind of normal there. You got to go out toward California for the warmer weather. Cooler in eastern Georgia as we go up through the Carolinas there. Here's what we have today for our 7-day forecast. Now, we're sitting at 81 right now for a high. As we get into March, still warmer, 82. But look at the difference after this rain moves in on Sunday, which will be thunderstorms. We're looking at it to be somewhere around 72 for a high. 60% chance of those thunderstorms happening there. 73 on Monday. And we'll stay in the 70s for the most part. By Wednesday, we're down to 70. As we look all the way through, look at this. The 30th, at the end of the month, we're sitting at 64. On Halloween, 67. As we pick back up, we'll have a couple of days of 70-degree weather there, but we start seeing right there in the upper 60s for highs. Not bad at all. Now, the biggest chance of rain that we've got past this Sunday is going to fall on November the 2nd, next Sunday. November. Can y'all get that? Fishing forecast for today, major times to fish is going to be somewhere around 1 o'clock this afternoon, about 1:10 all the way to 3:10. Now, minor times to fish will be after dark. You've got a slight chance this morning, about an hour and a half's worth. They're beginning at 8 o'clock, and then some minor time. It's not as good as 1 o'clock, but from 8 until 10, try that. Sunrise happened at 7:05, 6:12 sunset. As we get into our hunting calendar today, brought to you by our friends over at Wimberley. Again, a calm wind today is what we've got. We'll see the best hunting times from about 1:13 to 3:13 this afternoon. Now, today is rated as better as we get out to hunt. Again, we've got a time of about 8:36 until 9:36, an hour here in the morning. A late hunt, won't hurt you there. Sunrise, 7:05. Sunset rolls in at 6:12 this afternoon. What's happening with the tropics as we pull this up? Still a little bit going on there as we look at Melissa. She's moving along this morning at 50 miles an hour, 1,003 millibars, moving west at 12 miles an hour. Now let's pull up radar where you can see the live version of what we've got this morning. Lots to do with this, but we're looking at a little bit of fog in Bama as we pull up our radar here from Doc's Toyota. As you'll see, Mississippi, not much anything going on. We see fog picking up around Hoover, through Birmingham, Gadsden, and those areas, up around east of Huntsville to Chattanooga. It's going to be pretty thick there if you're going to be traveling 59 along there, Interstate 72, those places. We've got some fog there for you. As you get into the Georgia area this morning, as you'll see this, they got some special weather statements over here through Georgia, and we've got cooler weather. Look at this up in Kentucky, Charleston. Boy, they got a lot going on up there. Frost advisories in West Virginia. But we look good again. Now, as we look at this, I want everybody to see this. This is where this is going to reach a Cat 4 possibly as we see this. And we are showing trending that it'll turn east as we look at these spaghetti models. We hope that stays and does that. but it could reach up to Melissa, up to a Cat 4 at some point. We'll follow this storm to let you know what she does and what she's going to do. Already 6:55. Again, we've got a lot happening today. Brother Ben will be in with us. Odie is here as we get it underway. Odie said he looked it up. If the shutdown lasts until November the 5th, it will make the longest that we've ever had with the government shutdown. Now, just me sitting back thinking, there's a lot that won't win the, I guess you would call it the SNAP program, what used to be called EBT, food stamps. That's not going to roll out if the government continues to be shut down, and, well, it could be chaos. I do believe there's some within the government would love for that to happen, to where they could point fingers and say, look what you've caused, instead of looking out for Americans. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know. We'll be right back at the top of the hour. Join us for the Scotty Ray Report as we'll get it underway soon.